Sawadee krap. Welcome. Yesterday I talked about 7 foundation words in the Pali language for Buddhist teaching. Today I'm going to talk about basically one. I'm going to talk about Nibbana. Nibbana is the ultimate goal of Buddhism. It's the release, the salvation that the Buddha offers. And normally Nibbana is discussed in terms of what it's not, and you learn all the things that Nibbana is not, and by a process of elimination, hopefully Nibbana is left. I'm a Westerner, I don't like to copy. I'm going to start it the other way. I'm going to try and evolve a theory of what Nibbana might be, and then check it against that long list of things that it's not. And we'll see how we get on from there. So, what do we know about Nibbana? Well, the Buddha taught firstly that Nibbana is a type of Dharma. Now Dharma means something that is real and something that has laws that govern and condition it. The physical world as we know it is also a Dharma. Our perception and recognition of it is also a Dharma. The physical world is called Rupa Dharma. Our perception is called Sita Rupa Dharma, and the last type of Dharma is our emotional response, which is Satasika Sita Rupa Dharma. Now, all these Dharmas are what, I'm going to use a new Pali word today, which is Paramatta, which means universal. And a universal Dharma means that everyone is capable of perceiving it. We can all perceive the real world, we can all recognize the real world, and we can all respond emotionally to the real world. So the Buddha said that Nibbana was a Paramatta Dharma. It was a universal Dharma that everyone was capable of comprehending. And it's reality. Okay. That sounds easy, but the problem is that the senses that we use to perceive the real world will not work to perceive Nibbana, and there's a simple reason for that. And here's the next Bali word is khandha. The problem is that the physical world and our physical senses and our emotions are all khandha, and that means things that have beginnings and things that have ends and things that have limitations. All our senses are geared towards, we measure something by its limitations. We measure it by polar opposites. We measure temperature by its colder than this, hotter than that. The world of relativity, if you like, the Einstein world, the physical world. That is all khandha. Now, Nibbana is not a khandha Dharma. It has no limits. It has no beginning and end. It has no time. It's eternal, and yet it's instant. So how do you go about comprehending a thing like that? And that is the aim of Buddhist teaching. And someone who's been able to comprehend Nibbana and understand it is called an arahat. And an arahat, the Buddha was an arahat before he died for a long time, and he lived in a state of Nibbana, but he still had his regular senses operating as well. And numerous Buddhist disciples have achieved this state, and arahats, when they die, they go on to live in Nibbana. And that part's automatic, so you don't have to worry about what happens after you die. It's what happens before you die. The important thing is to try to achieve the understanding of Nibbana as much as we are capable to while we're still alive. So what else do we know about, what else did the Buddha say about Nibbana? The Buddha said that Nibbana was also anatta. And that it has in common with the physical world. The physical world and our senses and our emotions are also anatta. And that means that something that we can never truly own or never really possess. I.e., we are manifestations. And the word manifestation is always accompanied by the word of. So a manifestation is always is always of something, and the something it is of is always more important than the more powerful than the manifestation. So in the physical world we are all manifestations of physical matter, limited matter, and in the world of Nibbana we will also be manifestations, not fully in control, but Nibbana is pure, and we know that there is no suffering. The Buddha also said that there is no suffering in Nibbana. And suffering, if we remember, is called dukkha, which means pain, fear and deception. So Nibbana is free from pain, fear and deception. Now what kind of reality can be free from that? This is the theory we have to develop. So the reason that we have dukkha is because of impermanence. Because things come and go. We are always afraid that we will not attain our goals, and if we attain our goals we are afraid that we will not be able to keep them. So we live in a state of dukkha. Now in Nibbana that's not the case. In Nibbana things once attained are eternal. They never change. So there is no need for fear. There is no pain. So in our world there are three conditioning factors that cause us to, there are three what we might call motivational factors. We have pleasure, which we move towards, we have pain, which we move away from, and we have neutral, which is in between. So I would suggest that in Nibbana there is no pain, so there can still be pleasure, and there can still be neutral. That's what I would suggest. I would suggest it's a reality that has pleasure, that has a neutral feeling, but has no pain. And it has no pain because things last. So time in Nibbana, what is time? What is time in an endless world? Time is always enough. There is always enough time for whatever time is required for. What is okay? And let's look at the basic physical qualities. What are the basic physical qualities of the world? We know that the world is conditioned by hardness and softness. Stone is hard, mud is soft. So, is the hardness and softness in Nibbana? I would speculate that things are always as hard or as soft as they require to be. Unlike in this world, where things are always never quite right, because we're working from poles, from limitation, from the hardness of stone to the softness of mud, and finding the exact softness and hardness in between that makes, say, a mattress is extremely difficult. It has to be arrived at each case. If we take our bodies, our bones are hard, our skin is soft. But in reality, our bones are too hard because they easily break. And our skin is too soft because it's easily cut. So what would the reality be in Nibbana? That everything is as hard or as soft as it needs to be. Okay, let's look at another quality, heat and cold. Imagine that I have a room where I have, in the summer, I have air conditioning to make it cooler. In the winter, I have heating to make it hotter. But there's a small point of the year, every year, when it's neither hot or cold. I don't need to switch on the air or the heating. So I would speculate that Nibbana is always that in-between condition. It does not have to be adjusted. Reality, our reality, it always has to be adjusted. We have to put clothes, we put clothes on, we take clothes off. We sit in the sun, we sit in the shade. We're always trying to forever balance that which is fundamentally imbalanced. But in Nibbana, everything is, when something, we know that things manifest in Nibbana because the Buddha told us so, that there is manifestation in the Buddha. That's why it's anatta. Without manifestation it cannot be anatta. So we know that there are manifestations in there, but those manifestations, they manifest themselves every time perfect instead of manifesting themselves imperfect and having a desperate job trying to adjust. Things are always too hot, too cold, too hard, too soft, and we have a desperate job trying to adjust, and those adjustments are not permanent. Once we make all those adjustments, the minute we take our mind off them, it all falls back into nothing again. And Nibbana is not like that. It's a place where things can be built that are permanent. So, well, those are my thoughts for today on Nibbana. These are my first theories about Nibbana. We're going to be testing those over the coming weeks. So I'm going to say Sawadee Cup from Wat Sang Koo. That's the Sang Koo Monastery in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Shukti Cup. Good luck to you all.